I was watching a video not too long ago, Sister Deborah Yard. I think I forgot the name of her program, but anyway, she was talking about Nolan and how even Caucasian people, white people, are coming out and warning black folks to stop, putting themselves in that situation where they're hanging out with a bunch of white folks and they're the only one. And you know how some are people, they hard of hearing, stiff-necked people, just like the scripture says, and you can't tell them nothing. And they get all at because one thing about it, if you notice, some of them really think that they are better than the rest of us just because they got white friends, just because they sleeping with a white woman or a white man, just because they married to one, they feel like they're better. Like, just to be in proximity to so-called whiteness, that makes them better, so they don't want to listen. Just like the scripture says, the Most High has sent these people a strong delusion that they might believe a lie. The reason why, because they love not the truth. When you get offended from somebody telling you the truth, you are in a bad condition. Sometimes folks tell us the truth, we might not want to hear it right then, but when you think about it, you gotta admit, if you're honest with yourself, they're speaking the truth. But some of our folks, they don't want to hear it. They just can't leave them folks alone. They gotta always be with them. And some of them one guy looked like a skin folk. Okay, he was actually talking about he feel much safer with being around them, and then he does his own people. Well, that's good for you, because I never felt safe being the only one. That's just like me being a female. I don't want to be somewhere where I'm the only female and there's a bunch of men. I never felt safer being the only one. So, and yeah, I grew up around my own people, and no, I don't fear my people. Not saying we don't have no bad apples, because you could, there's been cases where our people went somewhere with just people who looked like them, and they still turned up unalive. I remember a few years back, some girl went to vacation out there in Mexico, and something happened to her. So basically, more than anything, we need to seek the Most High Yah for the spirit of discernment, so that we could discern who is really for us and who's against us, in these situations. But the current climate that we're living in, you have to be careful. People act like we're still living back in the 70s and 80s and the 90s. No, we're not. They said they wanted to make America great again, and they meant it. And, Project 2025. And you can see all the things that they said that number 47 claimed he didn't know nothing about. But you can see basically that it's coming to pass. And they're working on it. They're doing these things. So you need to be careful. You really do need to be careful. But keep on acting like you're living in La La Land and ain't nothing really happening, and you might mess around and find out. And parents, you need to speak to your children. My son is 29 years old, and I still be speaking to him and telling him, things, because he's still at home. One of my children, they like to be hard-headed, and they used to always, back when they was teenagers, because we live in a mixed area, and they used to love hanging with them folks and going out to the river and all that. And I used to tell them, you better be careful for one of them throw your butt in that river, because it's just not, I just never liked it, But they was an adult, 18. I still say teenager, but they was grown, didn't want to listen. And so, all I could do is pray for them. But anyway, be blessed. We need to speak to our children and keep them lifted up in prayer. We're living in the last of the last days, and the devil know that his time is short. And he is out to get the people of the Most High Yah. And we are the people. Be blessed.